The moon is high, the sirens call, memorial shakes, the shadows crawl from the plains of red to the haunted sky. The black sea's roaring, the ghosts won't die. The gates swing wide, the fire ignites, 85,000 haunt the night. No light escapes, no mercy found. The Black Sea swallows every sound.
Return to Glory podcast. Hunter Zarbanicki, Austin Rose, no Dakota. Under the weather today. Actually, this whole week he has been. Austin and I, if you're watching on video,
blackout, baby.
Blackout, baby. We're in the dark.
Halloween week.
Ooh.
Spooky.
I'm pumped. This is. I will say this is one of the most excited I've been just for a game experience overall. This Saturday, I think they're gonna have some really neat, cool things. I mean, and it's the whole week they've made very, very clear
every
blackout.
They've made a very clear blackout, and the coaches and the press conference is like, hey, we want you guys need to be rowdy. We're not looking for we're not looking for like louder. Like you guys need to be a little unhinged.
Yes, it's the most for sure that we've advertised, I guess, something like this. I think we've tried blackouts before, and we've kind of talked about how we just suck at.
Nebraska fans are terrible at color coordinated events because they're just like, I'm just wearing my freaking red and I'm just gonna go. I'm not thinking about it.
Will there be people out there that intentionally try to defy the blackout and wear their red?
USC fans will defy it. Do I think there are gonna be people who would intentionally do it? No. I think there are gonna be people that, well, I guess there will definitely be people out there that'd be like, because it's cold. It's gonna be cold. They're gonna be like, I'm just gonna wear it, my red coat. Like, it's too cold.
If they have a red coat, yeah, don't have. Which
I think the cold's gonna help. Actually, to be honest,
most coats are probably darker colored.
Yeah,
it helps, but like you just tend to see, your Iowa games. There's just more black naturally because of that. It's that we're definitely going all out for it, which I love. I think.
Do you think they're trying to go big this year because they want this to be an annual thing? They're looking for.
I think so.
Something.
I think that's part of it. And I mean, I do. I think it's. There's people that are the traditionalists think it's kind of stupid and they want to do the classic Nebraska USC uniform because they're too notable jerseys programs and all of that. Like, yeah. I don't know. I think this is going to be neat. I think it's going to be really cool. I think they're going to do a good job of making it cool at the game too, as far as the different things you can do with it. And then, I mean, that's the big storyline. I think that also is a message that wants to be sent to USC coming as well. I think they want them to, as far as the gameplay goes, I mean, that's what ultimately matters, right? All this stuff is needed, but if you come out,
if we lose the game, it's like no, next year where they're like, let's do a black. It's like, why? We got so freaking hyped for last year. We just laid a freaking egg and guess another top 25 opponent at home.
It wouldn't be good. But I will also say this: you couldn't really do this for like a 3-4 Nebraska team. It just doesn't have the same feel if you're trying to do it. The reason why this is so anticipated this Saturday is because we're 6-2, they're 6-2.
We have some momentum.
Both teams are, I'll say it, we're not out, but we're still in the playoff. But the team that loses this game is for sure out. Um, I'm not saying that we're in if we win out, and I don't think we're gonna win out. But
Even if we went out, I don't think we're in. But
you look at those graphics of teams that have are eliminated. We're not crossed off yet, but we're like a 0.7 chance. Like,
yeah,
but we're not crossed off. This is going to cross off the loser both ways. USC is also not out yet. I mean, they go 10-2 as well. They're potentially in as well. So there are some implications there. If you want to throw that in, USC is ranked, and we all know the lovely drought stat. I guess is it 20? How many games in a row we lost to ranked teams? 28, 27?
it's been since that Oregon game in 2016, right?
It's a lot. I don't know what the exact number is. So that also is coming in here. I mean, the opportunities set for us is right in front of us to go take it. We're underdogs, which
Finally.
I think that's, I don't know.
This is where it tests that bet on Nebraska as favorites, or do you double down and you flip it and you bet on Nebraska as underdogs? Or sorry, don't bet on Nebraska as favorites.
I mean, home dogs of about a 7 point. See if I can find the stat. Yep. So home dogs between 5.5 and 7.5 points have won the game outright 108 out of 287 times since 2020. So that's about 38%.
That's
which
pretty good.
is pretty damn good for giving your, a touchdown dog. And I do. I think this is a spot that if things go right, we can win this game, and it'd be huge. We're not expected to win, but at the same time, big picture wise, that we should a little bit be expected to win. This is one that I think going into the year, everybody just not chalked it up as a win, but like we can win that game at home. USC's coming over, and
Lincoln Riley hasn't quite established the level of dominance that he had at Oklahoma.
nope. Gosh, I mentioned Dak's sick. Uh, he's obviously a big Lincoln Riley fan, and really supports everything that he does. So
Really respects him as a coach and thinks very highly. He probably would have praised them pretty,
yeah, he was going to come on the podcast. He texted me a couple days ago on how Lincoln Riley was such a better coach than Matt Rule, and he had like a whole bunch of stats ready to go on to show me up on how he was going to just argue that Lincoln Riley is so much better than Matt Rule. So we aren't going to get that for you today, unfortunately. I know it's kind of disappointing. So anyways, blackout anticipated game. Talked about that. Top 25 team. Need to do that. Need to check that box. Any other high level things, or we can dive into.
I don't think so. I will say as far as like prior to talking about like the actual game, the outside noise for this week's game was definitely probably the lowest it's been in a while. The Rule Penn State stuff really cooled off after Minnesota, and then, you know, everyone's talking about LSU now. No one's really talking about the Penn State job. And
Um, I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of forgot as I was going to bed last night, and maybe you haven't seen it if you went to bed early. Rule's probably getting a contract extension
oh, yes, I did see that.
today.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that actually. I know we have, tighter time today, but what's your opinion on giving a contract extension to someone in
So dumb. Yeah, you
I
have
knew
to
you would
do it.
hate
I
it.
get. God, it's so dumb.
They're like, we don't want
I'm
to
not
lose.
saying because I want Rule gone. It's just
It sucks that you see all these big buyouts. I mean, LSU is paying 54 million to Brian Kelly, and James Franklin's getting 49 million. It's just we're extending because we don't want to lose him and have to hire someone else.
And
It's
someone did make a great point. I was listening to, like, the fact that Rule's in this conversation, that we have to do it, I guess it's a positive, because it means that the program is moving in the right direction. And now we say he's in the conversation. Husker fans are also making him part of the conversation. The Penn State one is obviously very clear. The other jobs that have opened up,
he's not got mentioned in any of the other
no.
jobs really. So that's also eye-opening of like if he didn't have the ties to the AD, this wouldn't be a concern. And we
Correct. So that's
probably
the other, yeah, that's the other shitty part, is we're really paying the guy because he has a friendship. Like,
yes.
that's really that's really
Yeah,
why.
I had the exact same thought because, like, I read through the list of 10 coaches to fill LSU. Matt Rule is not on the
Mm-mm.
list. And they're not. They're
That,
looking.
that's the part that sucks, is we're paying a coach because of a friendship. And
Hopefully, he's the right coach. I mean, I think we both agree that he's he's not wrong. He's not the wrong coach for us. We're not. You're not out on him. I think he's a good coach. Um,
this season could have went in a way where myself,
Still
but I think a
can.
lot of people could have been out on him, and
Still can.
still can. It's not that
That's
narrative, that
why I'm
ship has not
hesitant
been
because if you give him the
sunk yet.
extension and also you lose to USC and Iowa again,
That's that again. Give him this is the worst case scenario: extension and then lose out. Oh God.
yeah.
Oh God. Like what? But the timing of everything, it probably is about, like, it. Gosh, it's just a weird. I mean, you talk about that roller coaster. Holy cow! You can't wait till the week before Penn State. You don't know where the negotiations are. Um,
Because you want to get it done before USC. Because also you beat USC, it's like, well, he beat a top 20 program, as far as keeping him from leaving Penn State.
yeah, it just it.
Because if we're
I'm not
being,
a fan. I get that that's just it's not Nebraska. It's the market of coaches, and like, obviously the national news with all of these coaches getting fired and their buyouts. It's just where we're at. I
because
also don't agree with that, but it's the market.
it's how it
And
works. Because if we lose Matt Rule, all of a sudden we're in the same coaching market as LSU, probably, Auburn, Florida, Wisconsin might be looking for a head coach. It's like, gosh, I don't want to be in that cycle. That'd be a
it's a
miserable
great
cycle to
point.
be in.
That's a really good point this year, with all of these jobs opening up. And maybe this is going to be a new thing with every year, a lot of jobs open. But
These are
it,
big
it's
profile jobs.
when we got Frost, right, we were the job
Yeah.
at the time. And Frost was the number one guy, and we obviously had the ties. When Rule was here, or when we got Rule, we also were one of the top jobs
Right.
available.
Wisconsin and Colorado were open, and I'm trying to remember who else, but
That's about it. I mean,
yeah.
that was the debate. It was Fickle, it was Dion, like, it was like those type of jobs.
I guess
Now,
technically LSU was open at that point in time, and then Notre Dame also opened, right? Because Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU, but then they hired internally pretty quick.
yes, that's a good point.
So we quickly became the job that cycle.
This one now, there's a lot more, and you're right. We would be on that. Which, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. Like, we get the up and comer, don't gotta pay him a lot, but I think that's probably a big part of the conversation as well. When you're talking about contract extensions and all of that, and keeping Rule here, you're probably doing analysis of, okay, it's Matt Rule, or it's, I don't know, the seventh guy on the list of coaches out there now.
Right. Because you're not excited about Lance Leipold anymore. You know?
No. So, anyways, yeah, that talk about outside news, that's probably going to be here today, and take a little bit away from this game anticipation. But I get, you said this week has been from Monday. Even a lot of the press conferences has not been about the past. It's been about this week,
Yep.
and the anticipation and everything for this game.
Gosh, if we go out there and lay an egg this week,
I don't think we'll get killed. I don't think we can. I I shouldn't
At
say
home,
that.
the crowd, if the crowd shows up like we want them to, there is that chance that we get stuck with that fuddy-duddy old crowd.
Gosh, I hope not either. That'll be the worst when there's just like 1,000 just people in Nebraska bred because they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
blackout. This sucks. It is a little bit. I do think they're gonna do a pretty good job. Like it'll just take the middle third of fans and elevate them.
Yep.
I'm hoping so.
I agree.
Um, let's move on here to just matchups and the game itself. USC, you know anything about them? They're in Lincoln Riley himself, as Dak would echo. His offenses are they're
Pretty
as close
good.
to elite as you're going to get in college football. I've heard USC is the number one offense in the country based on some stat. I'm not sure which one that is, but their offense is good. I think that's something coming into last year's game. They were solid. I mean, it's obviously always one of Lincoln Riley's strengths as teams, but Jade Maeva, their quarterback, it was his first start when we played him out in Pasadena last year. And, I think we picked him off a couple of times. Like he's a very different quarterback this year. He's second in the Big Ten in passing behind Callie McManus from Rutgers. He has very talented skill players around him, including Makai Lemon. And he makes sure the ball gets to all of them. And he does a really good job of that. And he also has a little bit of threat of mobility, like some of these other quarterbacks that we've played. He's not so much run first. He's definitely not run first, but he has the ability to run. So this offense for sure coming into the game is going to be the thing. Can we contain it and not let them go score in the 30s?
This is gonna be the game that we test that. Our ballyhooed secondary. This is definitely the best passing attack. And our last couple of games we've been decent against the pass, but I mean they're also average. You talk about their passing game and their quarterback, they're still averaging 6 yards a carry. So we're gonna have to probably win in a shootout. I mean, what's the over-under for this game? Do you know what the implied point total is for them? Because they're averaging almost 40 points a game. They lost, and they're coming off a bye week. It is worth pointing out they're coming off a bye week.
Yeah, it's the over under 58.5, which is definitely the highest that we've had this season. And that's implying about a 34-28-ish in that ballpark, 33-27. So yeah, I think you mentioned the running back Wayman Jordan. He's also very high up there in the Big Ten. They're running the ball at a very good clip as well. So yeah, their offense is very explosive. Like they've proven that anytime that you are, and this is just generally speaking, I don't think we've talked about this because we've been kind of the favorite in most of our games this year. When you are the underdog / the team that doesn't have as many talented players as the other team, which I'm not saying USC is like over the top better than us. I don't think that, but they probably are a little bit. I mean, they're favored on the road by 6.5. You want the game to be as short as possible and control the clock and limit the number of plays ran by both teams. And this is a data numbers thing, if you want to think of it that way, right? If you are playing someone that's in anything, let's say Austin, let's say you and I each have one curling shot. We'll use curling for an example. We're playing a curling game. I'd rather just go one versus one. That's my best chance of beating you.
Right, because over the course of an entire game, that's what.
If we go through an entire game, I'm very, very small chance of winning because I've never done it before in my life. But if we just have one shot, my chance of beating you is probably a lot higher than doing it multiple times over and over. So that's the theory, right? The law of averages, that if the better team, the more you play, the more possessions you have, the more plays and more snaps you have, the better off you're going to be. Which is also why when we played Minnesota and Northwestern and Michigan State, why we kind of wanted it to be a little higher scoring, and we were okay with it if we got into a shootout, because we probably felt like we were the better team. So this is the first game that we're on the other side of that, and we do want to say, nope, let's see if we can control the clock, the game, run the ball, slow them down. The question is, can we? I don't think we want to get in a shootout, but that might be what happens because of the way we are up front. Now, I hope our game plan, game style doesn't reflect that. I don't think it will. I think, like the Ohio State game last year, we did a pretty damn good job of just trying to control the game. And I think that's going to be the plan here. And if you're USC, you want to just go. But I also think that the whole atmosphere and the weather and going on the road hopefully will help halt that a little bit.
That'll definitely slow down the no huddle, hurry up offense if we're actually loud enough. Looking at USC, looking at the shared opponents we played, so we've only played two. We've played Michigan State and Michigan are the only two teams that we've shared opponents. They beat both Michigan State and Michigan. Beat Michigan State by 14, and then they beat Michigan by, what would that be? A lot more than that. 18.
The Michigan game was the one that if you want to do a common opponent comparison, you go, okay, well then they can beat Michigan like that, then we're screwed because of how we played Michigan. And Michigan obviously was one of those physical run power teams, and USC was fine against that.
They're two of their big. So they lost to Notre Dame and Illinois, both on the road though. So there's something there. Their only other road game was against Purdue, and they beat Purdue by 16, which it seems like anyone can beat Purdue by 16 this year.
Yeah, they struggle. That's been the other narrative I've heard a lot, is they've struggled traveling east and playing in these type of environments.
The cold might help against USC. I mean, this is the kind of
it could. It hopefully will
miserable.
give us. I'm not going to say it's going to swing the game 14 points, but hopefully it can, cut the being unfavored by however many points. Hopefully we can get a few points off of that advantage because of the road and travel. I mean, we're going to be the same boat next week when we go out west to Pasadena and play UCLA. So the environment should matter, and it should affect their offense, hopefully slow them down to the point that we don't give up 40 points. Now, if we do, I just hope we don't, but there definitely is a possibility that happens. And USC's explosive enough to do that. I mentioned Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane, Jacoby is their other top receiver. I mentioned their running back. So they're doing it in multiple ways, but we're going to need that crowd to slow it down. Anything else that we're looking for? I guess the other thing that I think that needs to happen this game, we need to get pressure on my Ava.
I was just gonna say, I wouldn't
needs to happen.
I wouldn't count on us getting pressure on them.
And we haven't done to anybody.
We haven't done to anybody, and they've only been sacked. Oh, I just closed the tab. Shoot. They have not been sacked a lot. They've been sacked 6 times this year for 37 yards.
If we can get, I'm going to even say 2 on third down, and talk about plays that energize a crowd. If we can just get a couple of sacks, that's going to be ginormous for this game. Can we?
I don't think we
know.
can. I am not counting on us getting sacks. Like I said, they've only been sacked 6 times. And how many sacks did Michigan and Michigan State have on us?
6, too many.
Six in one of those games, probably. I don't know. I'd have to look back at it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get pressure on him. I I mean,
So here's where we're gonna have to, and we got to trust John Butler to the D and the D line a little bit, hopefully to be creative, and we haven't been creative, so there's no reason to think that we will, in finding a way to win the numbers game, so that we get a guy that can go in untouched or barely touched on there. Like that obviously is a very high level of how you get pressure to a quarterback, but you're going to do it through coaching, because I think just from a personnel standpoint, we've shown that we don't really have that this year, which is fine. But by doing the numbers game and doing that means you're probably going to be giving up something in the back end. So if you're going to do it, you better do it right and win the one-on-one coaching battle for that play. Because if USC picks it up, they got players in the back end, and maybe our defense can on the back end can hold it up. Maybe our secondary, they're going to get tested. Like you said, it's going to be the best passing skill player type of team that we've played all year, and maybe for the rest of the year. So that's going to be the key thing, I think. And if we can't get pressure on him and he just has all the time in the world, that's scary. This game is going to look very different from a fan watching, just because of the offense that they are, and people are going to know that. But it is there's going to be times where they just move the ball consistently down the field. It's, can we get pressure on them, and can we find a way to force a couple of turnovers in this game?
Which are two things that they have not done a lot this year.
Which is why they're probably 6-2. I mean,
we're also 6-2, but we've been sacked a shit ton.
Yes, and we're 6-2 in a very different way. We
easier
have been sacked a
schedule.
lot, and we have turned the ball over. Very bad turnovers. I'll say that too. Like, some of the interceptions have been
rough.
Now we haven't fumbled it a lot. Knocking on wood right now. So
they have had 6 fumbles lost. So,
and this is going to be their probably first. It's not going to be cold.
It's supposed to be like 43 at kickoff.
Cooler temperature.
I mean, that's pretty. It's 43 with a real feel, probably like 30, some high 30s.
You ask me, I would want the Texas snow game in October. I guess it'll be November 1st. That'd be ideal, but we're not going to get that. It's going to be cool, so that hopefully can help a little bit there. The flipping on the other side of the ball, our offense is going to have very minimal margin for error, given USC's firepower they have on offense. And what I mean by that, we can't afford one of those stupid, dumb interceptions on our side of the field. We can't afford going 3 and out multiple times this game and giving them the ball in good field position. That's not going to bode well for us. It's not going to be a Big Ten. I don't think it'll be a Big Ten run and punt game.
No, I agree. I think this is going to be a game where, yes, special teams are going to be. I think special teams is going to be the thing that shifts it our favor, but it's not going to be the punting game. If we're leaning on the punting game to win this game, we're going to lose.
Correct.
Because although we could flip a field with our Lord and Savior Archie Wilson,
sorry, Archie,
down the field pretty easy. Yeah. We do. I mean, the way special teams helps us win this game is we get better starting field position, and we somehow take advantage of that, which is something we haven't really done very well this year.
That is one thing to watch too, and that's how Iowa is so good year after year and wins 8 games. Is they are so good at winning field position battles. And a lot of that comes with punting, but that is one job of the special teams is instead of fair catching, let's just say punt returns, for example, every single one, can you get 12 yards on a return and start at the 37 versus 25? It's a very different starting point for an offense. So I agree. That's going to be huge here to watch.
And and honestly, I said we don't need the punting. The punting game's not going to win us the game. But if we're putting them deeper, an offense that moves the ball well, it just gives us more opportunities for. It gives us more opportunities for them to mess up. You know.
And think about other times when the crowd gets very low. When you pin somebody inside the 10 or the 5,
Yeah.
it's another time. I mean, that will juice up the stadium too by doing something like that. So that also, if the opportunity arises, we need to take advantage of those moments.
Yeah, I guess when I think about what I want to see, which what do I want to see out of the Huskers in this game? It's funny because I don't really think about anything that needs to improve on the offensive side that much. I'm not like, man, our offense really needs to do blank to win this game. It's really all about our defense and our special teams need to do it. Because I do feel, I mean, our offense is not the same firepower as USC, but I do think in a if you were just to go offense versus offense, who could score with the same defense, if you put out the same defensive players, I feel like we could actually do all right keeping pace with USC.
Yeah,
That might be arrogant. That might be just looking at the
you
schedule.
love our offenses here. You've had their backs a
I
lot.
mean, as far as the phases of the game, that I think our defense is not good. And I think that's where
Agreed.
we're going to lose the game.
The big thing on offense and for me, the offensive line
Teddy
can't lay another
Prohaska
egg.
done for the year again. Probably done for his
Correct.
career.
And we're a little banged up there. I think Gatula is listed as an or
Yep.
this
Rocco's got a
week.
glove on or a bludgeon.
So that to me is going to be a key thing. And tying with that is Emmett Johnson's ability to run the ball and Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, which Emmett Johnson's not Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love's one of, if not the best running back in the country. But Emmett's proven that he can be one of the best in the Big Ten. And if he can get going behind this offensive line early, then I like our chances. If the story, is the general consensus is USC's flashy skill player, not as tough as not a tough Big Ten team that we're used to. I think that's more of a generalization. Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to say their offensive and defensive lines aren't good. Like, there's no reason to say that. If we can control that line of scrimmage better than we have in the past few games, then we're going to be in this game. The scary part is if that's a neutral battle and they can just trump us everywhere else. That's where it gets hairy for me. And the game, not gonna say it's gonna be a blowout, but could be a 14-point game, not in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. Can we control the game? And this is one of my keys or thoughts. It's getting out in front early. More so, it's important in every game, no matter who you play. This game, man, if you want to ask one thing, just please and pray to the gods for it to happen, is can we get ahead to start the game?
I mean, that's how we won the Michigan State game. I think if we don't get that punt block return for a touchdown that game, when we're up 14-0 and within the first, that changed their game plan, which I think they might have done a lot better. So if we could do that against USC, where hey, we score opening drive, 3-and-out, we get a field goal or something, and it starts to, you know, you're right. The crowd gets into it.
I'm taking the ball if we get if USC is gonna, they get the coin flip So I guess so. We won't get the decision. Well, yeah, we will if they lose. It's a coin flip. Man, I'm forgetting how heads and tails works.
Which we haven't won a coin flip. We haven't, or no, last week was the first week we got to pick, right? If we wanted to receive or not. I think for the year.
Yes, if you're no, if you're on the road, you get to pick the coin flip, but then
Yes.
if you win it, you get to choose. So
last week was the first one that we won the coin flip.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that, but I think we won the ball. I seriously do. I think worst case scenario is we get down 7-0, and in the back of our mind we think,
oh boy, top 25 opponent.
We can't control the game. Like we got to start keeping up with them right away. I think that's worst case scenario. Whereas even if we can get the ball and go get a field goal, go up 3-0, I think that's huge for the crowd perspective too, but just in general in the game flow, how you want it to go. And we've done a good job of that this year. We really have. We played well in the first and fourth quarters. Like that's been our thing, and you hope that continues.
If they go down and score opening drive, or we go 3 and out, like a real quick 3 and out, and they go down and score. I mean, that crowd's going to be absolutely, not that you can't get back into it, but you're right that Nebraska fans, that we're 6-2, and I mean, gosh, you'd think that we're barely scraping by this year. Everyone's so like,
it's so weird just because of who we played in our schedule. Like it really is. I did take a step back a couple days ago and I said we are 6-2.
first time since 2013.
It's weird. Given I tried to take all my other thoughts out. Now there are games that we've scraped and clawed our way to win them.
Right, but coming into the year, we had it's like outside of the Minnesota game, I think we all thought we'd be 6-2 by the 8-game mark. And the Minnesota game was super ugly, but other than that, it's like, well, it was a close loss to Michigan, which we thought we would lose anyways.
And I guess people would complain about losing 1-score games. Well, now we've won 3 of 4 this year.
Right.
So I guess take that. We're not, you're okay. Get off of USC a little bit. Here's the problem. Is the expectation got set for whatever reason by whoever. I mean, Husker Media does it, but nationally, the expectation got set that we could be a dark horse playoff contender, and we were Matt Rule year 3, and we could be that good. So that got thrown out there, and now we're not appreciating just the baby steps forward that we have made since last year, and they have been steps forward. And the only way to me that the season ends and it's not a step forward is if we lose out. Now, that could happen. And even then you could argue, well, no, I guess we still would be 6-6.
We need to win one. We need to win one.
We need to win one for the win total to be a little better. My concern with that even is, our schedule was easier. So to me, it's like, is that a progress? Maybe. My worst fear is that gets the going 7-5. I mean, I think 8-4 helps, even 8-4 a little bit, but I think 8-4 helps like show that no, we've moved.
We're beating the bad teams now. I know we had an easy schedule, but we've lost to the bad teams for the
last done that before
10 years.
So that to me is a little bit wide. You're right. The 6-2 narrative is, we're not appreciative of it, is because we expected this big overhaul of, now we're a playoff team in year 3 under Rule, because that's what he's done, and our schedule sets up for it perfectly. Well, we're still taking baby steps. We're not in that tier 1 or even maybe tier 2 of Big Ten teams. Now we're playing some of them this week or these next 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So
right, if we come out when we finish the year, we beat USC, lose to UCLA, and beat Iowa, it's a great year.
But right now, that's not looking like we will beat Iowa this game.
Yeah. So we're probably going to lose this game. Yeah. Okay. Let's give predictions. You got to get out of here in a couple minutes.
I do. I don't know. I
I
don't
think we're gonna
know.
lose. I do think the crowd's gonna help, but I think it's gonna be closer to like that 14-point loss that you were talking about, where it's like, well, we're really in it, and then kind of at the end, it's like, we have to take some shots. We have to be a little riskier. USC gets a big breakaway play at the end because we're being a little bit more aggressive. Um, so I guess prediction would be 28-17 USC.
Can I be a homer? I'm gonna be a homer.
You can be a homer, which is
I
something
don't
you don't do as
I've
frequently
done
as
it
you
this year
should.
a lot. We I'm gonna make an assumption here. USC, they're city boys. They don't know Midwest culture. They
Come out
don't,
here in the cold.
they're not even the cold, but just the gritty, hard-nosed, blue collar, hardworking Midwest nature. And I'm not saying we're all those things because we definitely have not been all the time, but USC's not that. They like things nice. They live in Hollywood. They like things. They're not ready for what Memorial Stadium is going to bring. We're going to get a couple of picks. I think we might throw a couple too, but it's going to be enough for us
Okay.
to hold on. And it's going to be ugly, but we're going to win 21-20.
Wow. Is Dak gonna be sober enough to make it to the game? Night game?
He doesn't go to the games anyways. And
Oh,
no.
he's just gonna be drunk
Well,
at the tailgate.
we're going to see how this sickness handles him. I from what we've heard,
He's been out for a week.
he went down to the Kansas City game against the Commanders on Monday night, and ever since then it's been which yeah he had kind of something before that, and I'm not sure he got much sleep this weekend, and so I think he's probably his body's not liking him right now, and he also is not very tough. I'll say that. So I'll just start out there. Sorry, you're not on here to defend yourself, but he's not very tough when it comes to stuff like this. So
Yeah, he loves Lincoln Riley and he's just not very tough.
and he
So
loves Lincoln Riley. Gosh, he cannot stop talking about him. So uh yeah, we'll get his maybe score prediction.
hopefully we'll get a basketball preview in this weekend
Yeah,
before
we're
the season
plan to do
kicks
that and
off.
have it out before next week where season officially kicks off on Monday.
We did beat they beat Midland. So Nebraska volleyball plays Wisconsin on Halloween. Not the Wisconsin of old, but hopefully remain undefeated in Big Ten play.
Oh, and enjoy your AI music that the preview. I've kind of had fun with that. It's been I don't know, pretty easy to do with chat GBT creating me some prompts and then dumping it into a software that does it. So it's still a little glitchy and not perfect, but it's been kind of fun. So little spooky version with some hype for this week. Also, there's also some just very cool. This is why this game is so exciting for me. There's some cool videos out there just with the bones and
Blackout's cool. Black shirts are cool. We need to steer into it more often. I wish our helmets had the black shirts logo on them instead of the black end.
that. And I wish they were black.
The helmets,
I want
just
everything to
all
be
black.
black. I want everything this week just to be just dark, just like we've been sitting in the dark this whole 45 minutes. I want everything
Okay.
just to be black everywhere. And I think the stadium is going to do some stuff like that. I even see like pregame where it's just going to be the lights are going to be off for an extended period of time. Like it's good. Oh, that's going to be.
It would be cool if they just had the red lights on for a while so people could still see, but it's just no, we're not turning on the lights. You know?
It's going to be electric. Thank God we won last week. I'll just say that again. Thank
Yeah.
God we won last
If
week.
we lost last week, this game would be at
All right. Well, we'll hopefully be happy come Monday morning. So go Big Red.
GBR.
The moon is high, the sirens call, memorial shakes, the shadows crawl from the plains of red to the haunted sky. The black sea's roaring, the ghost won't die. The gates swing wide, the fire ignites. 85,000 haunt the night. No light escapes, no mercy found. The black sea swallows every sound. Every sound. That rule commands, steady and cold. Built the storm in scarlet and bold. Dylan Rayola, calm, precise, reading defenses made of ice. Evan Johnson cuts through the haze. Nizer Hunter burns ablaze. Zachary Barney streaks down the line. The crowd erupts, it's blackout time. The noise is thunder, the ground will shake. The Black Sea churns, no Trojans escape from the mist and dread. A chorus spread. Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Black Sea rising under blood moonlight. Crosses hunting, ghost of night. Here I am. Can you hear that sound? Shadows surround. Every step, every breath you take. This is the night you can't escape. In the heart of the plains, the fear is fed. Welcome to the Black Sea. Go Big Red! Cameron Lenhart bursting off the edge. Williams Winery keeps the pledge. Dawson McAuliffe, speed and wrath. Javen Wright carving down your path. Andrew Marshall pressing tight. Deshaun Singleton strikes at night. John Butler's defense, relentless dread. They'll haunt your dreams in Husker red. The crowd hushes, a heart deep and still. The Black Sea breathes, waiting to kill. A single sound, the thud of a punt, echoes through the night's cold front. R.C. Wilson, weaponized foot of flame, pins the Trojans deep, changes the game. Mike Keller's chaos, the sideline roar. Special teams thunder, shaking the floor. Kenneth Williams waits, ghost in the back. Catches the spiral, hits the track. He cuts left once, crowd starts to scream. 85,000 ignite the dream. Black Sea rising, haunted and loud. 80,000, a crimson shroud. Huskers howling, fence fed. The night belongs to go Big Red. Islands carry spread. Fear the sea where legends bled. The plains awaken, the storm is fed. Welcome to Lincoln, the Black Sea of Red. The echoes fade, but the fear remains. The ghosts of Lincoln guard the plains. This is Nebraska, the faithful, the dread, forever haunted.